getting CNN News 18's mega exclusive for you. The intel sources have now told CNN News 18 Security Affairs editor Manoj Gupta that Maldives is not only ISIS but also narco, terror and the base of Pakistan-based terror groups. Intel sources have revealed that Lashkar base have also been identified in the past in the Maldives. Remember, it was prior to the 26/11 attack in Mumbai that the attack had also been linked to terrorists based out of Lashkar, which also had connections with Maldives. Here's also what the intel sources have revealed to News 18. Let's also break down for you those points that have now emerged, that the problem of terror and drugs is already on the rise in Maldives. At the same time, intel sources are saying that there's a radical Islamist funding going on with the local government as far as Maldives is concerned. The other point that's also emerging is that there is a business terror nexus proliferating in Maldives. Remember, the country is already high on tourism. Business is bound to find its own place. At the same time, it's becoming a safe haven for Lashkar, and this happened before the 26/11 attack that took place in India. The other point that's also emerged is that the ISIS of the Jammu and Kashmir province is using Maldives for expansion of its own terror activities. Then the other aspect that is now emerging is Maldives ISIS is in touch with ISJK's Horsen arm that is part of the ISIS of the Jammu and Kashmir province. So Sri Lanka attack also is now being linked to Maldives. So you can imagine that such is the kind of terror nexus that is now emerging out of Maldives. Remember, CNN News 18 has already informed you that most of the terror recruits, whether Lashkar or ISIS, have now come out of Maldives. For more details, let's quickly go across to Abhishek, who's joining us live with more details. Abhishek, first of all, important to highlight what is the connect between all these terror activities that are taking place in Maldives and the failure to address them by the Maldivian president and his government.
Well, there has been a smaller history in Maldives of Islamic radicalist element making inroads, and the roots have been, because of the government intervention, they have not been able to make it very stronger. But there have been in the past cases where Maldivian nationals, they were tried to be recruited for these extreme ideology or these international terrorist organizations. There have been some arrests also in the past. Some of the people who have been arrested in India also, they have revealed that they were in touch with some of their senior commanders or senior ideologues based in Bangladesh or in Maldives also. In fact, in the recent past, one of the event of yoga being organized by Indian High Commission in Maldives was also attacked by certain radicalist group who tried to disrupt the entire organization,
All right, Abhishek,
event.
I'm so sorry to
there have been
interrupt you
instances
there.
where
I'm in fact also joined in by Major General A.K. Sivach, who's also a defense expert. Many thanks to you, Major General, for joining in. We were just discussing the failure of the Maldivian government to kind of address this growing, rising terror threat, which also goes to find roots in ISIS, even Lashkar. How do you view the current government stance? Because remember, there are also reports indicating that President Muzu came to power only by promising the radical groups that I will throw India out of the country if you bring me back to power. What does it speak of the current Maldivian president?
Absolutely. As far as Mohammed Muzu is concerned, he came on one idea, India out, and he used to wear basically on his sleeve that India out is his basically main aim, and on which platform he has come on power. So therefore, the point is that it is Maldives, unfortunately, is getting radicalized faster than anyone thought.
Right.
It is not only that Islamic State which is having its footprints, it is also Al-Qaeda, and on the top of that, the ISI has made base in Maldives, which is now ensuring the Lashkar-e-Toba, Jaish Mohammed also operate from there. See, unfortunately, radicalization is on increase, and another factor which happen is that the children are in Maldives, they are sent for education in Middle East and Pakistan, and when they come back, they are totally radicalized. So as it is from 2008, they have adopted Islamic religion, the Muslim Islamic religion as their state religion, and they are following that. And their involvement also such a Maldivian
Right.
involved in IS in Syria. So to me, it looks like that is today you can say they are going toward a path of radicalization.
Major General, I can't help but wonder when roots of Lashkar are also being traced back to Maldives, that too with regards to the 26/11 attack. Why has India chosen to be so soft on Maldives till now then?
This is unfortunate because we were not basically understanding how do we handle Maldives. Because in case if we are very hard on Maldives, we thought that the Maldives will go into the lap of China. That was the one biggest threat to India, and that's why.
But that already seems to be
trying
happening
to,
now,
make
Major
a soft
General.
approach.
That already seems to be happening as we speak. The precedent is already there.
Absolutely, absolutely. No, as on today, I agree with you that they are already in the lap of China. Today, Mohammad Mujib, instead of visiting India, which all other prior presidents used to visit after coming into power, has gone to Turkey, and the second country is going to China. But now, to me, it looks like that it's a change in India. Now our approach is different. We are not going to accept it the way the status quo is. We are not ready to withdraw our 77 military personnel, which are basically flying 2 helicopter and 1 Dornier, and also giving them other support system. Also, we are trying to put pressure that if Maldives goes closer to China, the support which we have given. See, Maldives has to understand that we are the neighbor. And it is not China. We are the one which are the net security provider. We are the first one to reach Maldives whenever they are in problem,
Right.
including 1988 coup.
All right.
I suppose India is very clear in its approach. India will put pressure on Maldives, and Maldives will now have to walk to the talk. They cannot do what they are doing, and Mohammad Mujib
Right.
is going for, I suppose, going for a hard work and hard task in future if we keep on adopting this India out approach and trying to go into
All
the
right,
lap
Major
of
General
China.
Sivach,
They
I'll
will
have to
go
leave
into
it
a
at
death
that.
trap.
Many thanks to you for sharing your very precious inputs with us. I'm also joined in by KP Fabian, who's a former diplomat. Many thanks to you, Mr. Fabian, for joining in here on CNN News 18. We were just discussing the kind of rising threat. It certainly is not an overnight development. Why is it now surfacing now, and why is India taking notice of this kind of rising Islamic terror threat that's coming or sort of emanating from Maldives?
I'm sorry, I don't know that I got your question right. Did you speak about Islamic terrorism?
Right, right. CNN News 18 has received exclusive intel information which is going on to highlight the kind of rising Islamic terrorism that's taking place, the kind of terror pads that are being trained. It's becoming a safe haven, not just of ISIS, but also for groups like Lashkar.
Well, I've not seen that report, and I would say that Maldives generally have a reputation for being a peaceful society, and we haven't come across any terrorist incidents there. Is that right?
All right, Mr. Fabian, many thanks to you for joining in with your precious inputs. And with that, let me also quickly bring in Abhishek Jha, who continues to stay with us on the phone line. Abhishek, if we were to throw more light on the kind of inputs that we are getting in on this kind of terror funding that is taking place, one crucial question that now remains is how will President Mujib's government sort of react in addressing this concern for India? Because remember, earlier previous governments have minced no words in acknowledging India's role. They've gone on to highlight the cultural, historical, people-to-people connect that India and Maldives share. But it doesn't seem that the sentiment is the same with President Mujib's government.
Well, we know that, of course, there has been a close partnership and, our bilateral relationship has also deepened in the past few years, especially in the era of President Ibrahim Soli's time. But the latest dispensation, which is currently giving Maldives a narrative that it is becoming more anti-India, more pro-India, pro-China. That is a concerning thing for India because Maldives happens to be just 75 nautical miles away from Indian shoreline in the western coast. So, just a few hours from here. And if China increases its economic and its strategic presence around Maldives, then it will clearly pose a security and economic challenge for India. Also, Maldives is geostrategically placed at a position which happens to be one of the most busiest trade routes. So,
Right.
having control of that region, that trade routes, maritime trade routes, is very important, and that is why India is more concerned about growing influence of China onto Maldives' current disposition.
All right. Many thanks to you, Abhishek, for putting that entire story into perspective for us. And with that,